The new wave of professional wrestling, Capital Wrestling.
Capital Carnival, you will be the host of the return of wrestling's richest prize, Mr. Darius Carter. As you know, as everyone knows, I am undefeated, 3-0 at Capital Wrestling, and that makes me the best at Capital Wrestling, and that also makes me the measuring stick. So that's why you get your shiny new favorites like the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens. Anthony. See, whereas I know exactly who I am, whereas I know exactly what I am, you've always seemed to be a little confused. You never really seem to be sure of who you are, and now you're this 5-tool player. You're gonna tell me these 5 things that you're gonna do to beat me. Anthony, you've never experienced anything like me. I'm not one of your friends that's gonna wrestle around with you. I'm not in here for a respectful display. Anthony, if I have to end your career just for one victory, just to keep my undefeated streak, I will end your career. You are a stepping stone to greater things. You are a roadblock that is not capable of blocking me. So Anthony, bring your body, bring your muscles, right? Bring your strength, bring whatever else that you have, bring it. Because just like Anthony Gangone, just like Mike Law, and just like Steve Pena, just like everyone else on the roster, you just don't measure up. You're welcome.
I'm here with the 5-2 player, Anthony Bowens. Now, Anthony, your debut is the most anticipated debut in the history of Capital Wrestling.
Thank you.
And it's against the undefeated Darius Carter. How do you feel about your chances tonight?
Well, wrestling's 5-tool... Capital Wrestling's 5-tool player, the perfect combination of athleticism, power, intelligence, the look, and most importantly, the it factor, has arrived. And I appreciate the welcome. It's pretty cool here in Capital Wrestling. I feel right at home. And I'm gonna feel right at home tonight. Because I have a challenge on my hands, and the 5-tool player works on challenges. He has a mission. 5 tools, 1 rule, prove them wrong. And tonight, with a guy like Darius Carter, with a guy with a mouth that just spews absolute garbage, I'm gonna take pleasure of taking my knee and cracking it right across his jaw, because I'm tired of the toxic environment he has been creating here at Capital Wrestling. Darius, fear the never-ender.
5-2 player, Anthony Bowens. Hyped for what I'm sure is going to be a fantastic match.
Welcome to Capital Wrestling. I'm Mr. Entertainment, Harry Turjanian, joined alongside my broadcast colleague, Stephen James. And what a treat we are in for as wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter, joins us tonight here on Capital Wrestling.
It is the Capital Carnival. Harry Turjanian, your Capital
Turjanian's
Carnival.
Capital Carnival.
I know, you put your name on everything.
That's right. Well,
except for your email, ComedyDaddy, still at AOL.com.
don't you worry about that. You have no reason to email me anything. But right now, let's focus on the man who is taking Capital Wrestling by storm. Darius Carter, wrestling's richest prize.
The Capital in Capital himself.
And the man who's going to take Capital Wrestling to the next generation. And I'm proud to have him and call him a friend and a business colleague. Darius Carter. And look at this, showing the fans what he's all about here.
Darius Carter having the hottest 2018 of any Capital Wrestling superstar.
And the hottest debut, I would say, of any Capital Wrestling superstar. Look at, in all his glory, Darius Carter, the father of change, here to continue showing these young stars what it's all about.
And the father of change surveying the land here in Capital Wrestling. He has staked his claim firmly atop. You have to wonder how long before this man gets a title shot.
Well, he's undefeated. He's certainly worthy of it. But tonight is not about championships. Tonight is the debut of the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens. And already quite popular with a lot of the crowd here, the Capital contingent.
As we've seen over the past few weeks, the previews, the profiles for Anthony Bowens. But now the time for profiles, the time for previews is over.
Now
he'll make his Capital Wrestling debut. And what better way to do it than with the stiffest competition in Capital Wrestling, the undefeated Darius Carter.
You're right, Steven. Now the talking is done. Now it's time for him to step in the ring and face a competitor the likes of Darius Carter. Anthony Bowens, definitely a physical specimen to say the least. Aesthetically, he looks in tremendous shape here.
As you said, look being one of the 5 tools in the arsenal of the 5-tool player, as well as being an incredible athlete, having the power to go the distance, the intelligence, the look, as you said, and what he calls the it factor.
And now is when we're going to see, does he have the quote-unquote it factor? Because, yeah, he looks impressive. He's athletically gifted for sure.
You stay in your lane. Hey, are you ready? Hey, back it up to the corners. Come on now. You ready? You ready?
And now the time for talking is done. The training, this is where the training comes in. It's a different experience between training and actually competing here.
Making his debut here. We had the chance to scout out Anthony Bowens just a few weeks ago. And I have to say, we were both impressed at the athleticism. Going behind here on Darius Carter, but Darius Carter not relinquishing that wrist.
Darius Carter, definitely the power advantage goes to Anthony Bowens, but it's not just about power here. You know, it's what you can do with that power.
I have called, cover 1, I have called Darius Carter, while I might not agree with his methods always, I have called him a ring tactician, an elite wrestling mind. This is a man who nothing he does doesn't come without a second thought. He knows what his next 6 moves are going to be, where he is at all times, and look,
and that right there is what you're talking about, the intelligence of luring in somebody a little bit young, a little bit naive, just maybe taking it too personally, you know?
A genius IQ in wrestling here.
Throwing him off his game.
Simmer down.
And trying to settle it down is Darius Carter.
Trying to wrestle at his own pace. You know, that's the thing about it. You can't wrestle at somebody else's pace. You got to manage your own game here. The mind games continue with Darius Carter, the father of change, and wrestling's richest prize, locking up.
Anthony Bowens trying to grab, but Darius Carter
Darius Carter smartly getting away from it. He didn't like the grip. He's going to put himself in danger, just release and move to the ropes.
You don't wind up being 3-0 in a place like Capital Wrestling without knowing when to fold, when to sacrifice a pawn to take a queen.
Master. The Bowens, definitely impressive. Look at that.
Crucifix pin.
And this is what I'm talking about when we talk about the undeniable talent initiative set up by Zach Amico, my head of scouting, and also a funny comedian and a broadcaster as well, member of Gas Digital.
Rolling through. Bowens wisely locking his legs around that rope. Darius Carter going to have to release, but not without a little parting shot here. And on the outside,
one of the 5 tools is not discipline and patience, apparently, because
Darius Carter telling him to back him up.
To the corner. Back into the corner. Doesn't need to be to the corner. He's back into the corner. Back him up.
and again, the mind games continue, demanding that Anthony Bowens back up.
Creating that separation. Darius Carter putting on a clinic here.
And Darius Carter is making his bones almost by challenging the younger brass. That's why he's the father of change. Challenging
and the father
younger
of the Brass Ring Invitational, which he is undefeated still.
9-0, I do believe. And again, look at this. Now he's firmly in control here.
Locking that wrist. Single leg takedown. Trying to hold on to the legs, but Anthony Bowens fighting. MMA-like sprawling here, defending himself and able to roll up.
And very smartly, I'll give credit. Intelligence being displayed right there. You can cross that one off. That's one of the tools we've seen is the intelligence, because he was able to smartly use his MMA background, get to the ropes, and regroup.
This is one area, the intelligence is one area and one tool that Anthony Bowens is going to have a really hard time trying to use to his advantage over a man like Darius Carter.
But let's be honest, Darius Carter has a lot of tools himself. He just doesn't bother to list them, because the list would be way too long. I could come up with a list of my own. I mean,
that would take 10 seconds. Title of your autobiography.
I'll come up with a list of your qualities. I'll put it on a postage stamp. And look at that.
Driving the calf down.
Looks is not one of them. You need to shave that beard. Now Darius Carter, again, firmly in control. And now see, how does Darius Carter find himself winning a test of strength here? But then, oh, wait a minute.
The fans chanting 5 for the 5-tool player, looking for a little tool time here as he fights back.
And here you see the power.
Went to lock the arms, breaks the hold, kicks from his back. Look at the power that he was able to generate onto the chin of Darius Carter with that heel from his back.
That's another one of his tools, power.
Come on, get it in here, man.
But Darius Carter, smartly, what's he doing? He's regrouping on the outside, trying to get his thoughts together, catch his breath a little bit, and sliding into the ring just to break up the count, get a little more time on him.
Come on, now.
That's that savvy of Darius Carter here.
That's game clock management as far as I'm concerned.
I'll give him credit.
Could his undefeated streak be in jeopardy?
And again, not with the, and look at the smile on Darius Carter's face. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. Just when you think you have him, he does something like this where he goes to the outside. And you can see now Anthony Bowens, there we go now. All right. And look at the fun Darius Carter. It's nice to see Darius Carter having a good time, you know? I mean,
but Anthony Bowens on the outside,
this is a carnival atmosphere.
Chasing after Darius Carter, but Darius Carter now wisely claims his territory.
And now who's in the center of the ring?
Claiming the high ground, perhaps. Anthony Bowens getting a little bit too overzealous, costing himself a dominant position here. But Anthony Bowens doesn't seem like the kind of man who's going to stay out there and duck out.
And now Anthony Bowens taking a page out of Darius Carter's book.
Inside the ring, man. Straight inside the ring. He was in.
And Darius Carter.
He's not doing it right. He's not even putting his half.
Now inside the ring is Anthony Bowens, but Darius Carter wisely countering and twisting that neck.
Suckered him into it after all that. What was that, about 2 minutes worth of time? At the end of the day, Darius Carter got what he wanted out of that. Firmly in position, and now he begins to work over Anthony Bowens.
Going to the rib cage and now to the temple is Carter.
Hey, I'm doing my job.
Ooh, nice
European
uppercut.
uppercut.
Yeah.
5 tools. Hey, 5
Again, look at it. Now he's just playing mind games with him, just taunting him at this point.
Irish whip countered, held on into the chop, knees, another sweeping the leg. And again, the lower body fueling those kicks.
And a kick out there at 2. And Darius Carter again trying to go to the outside here just to regroup because the power, the quickness, the athleticism, another one of his tools, just too much here. Anthony Bowens, again, no slouch here. Ooh!
But using that rope.
And that is the presence and awareness to know your ring positioning, to take advantage of every square foot of that ring.
Where's Darius Carter's strict adherence to the rules there? Driving Anthony Bowens into the steel post. Where, Harry? Where's his adherence to the rules before he wanted Anthony Bowens to back up all the way as in accordance to the rules?
Listen,
but now he's
you play within the limits of your rules. You can do what you want with it.
limits of your rules. Rules are rules.
Rules are rules. But listen, you have to the count of 5. If the referee has a problem, he'll disqualify him and let me know, and that's it. I can't, it's up to the discretion of the referee what's going on. And again, here at Capital Wrestling, we like results.
Anthony Bowens still on the outside on a 7 count. He's got to get back into the ring. 8 count. 9 just making it in before the 10 count.
And right away, Darius Carter giving him no room, just going right after him. Ooh, forearm after forearm.
No Porter given his right as now stomping, not letting Anthony Bowens really get in the ring and get any sort of momentum. Can't get to a vertical base. Torquing that neck again.
And you see the referee deeming that the positioning of that hold not legal, and he had till the count of 5 to break it.
Looked like maybe he had his hands in his mouth.
It was unintentional, I'm sure, but ooh! And look
Thrusting
at that
palm strike
to the chest and the throat area. And you can't run around if you can't breathe. That power doesn't do you much good without
Cover
oxygen.
1, this could be it. 2 count only.
Darius Carter having a little bit of a tough time with the size to keep down Anthony Bowens.
Looking to pick up his 4th straight win here in the Capitol, twisting that neck. And now Darius Carter stalking his prey.
Trying to go into 2019 with even more momentum. Again, who's had a better year in Capital Wrestling? It's hard to say.
Axe handle smash on the back. And again, Bowens charging up here. The pain not affecting him, kicking into that next gear
that
as an
adrenaline,
elite athlete.
And that might be the it factor for Habs, because that adrenaline, using that adrenaline rush, but
clothesline.
It was not enough. It was Darius Carter.
2 count only.
And a kick out at 2.
Come on.
And I know Bowens wants to make a good debut here at Capital Wrestling, but I certainly they didn't make it easy for him, that's for sure.
Not even in the slightest thus far.
No, I mean, listen, when people want to prove themselves, he said specifically, he came in going, I want the best that you've got. And I respect that. I admire that. So we gave him one of our best, Darius Carter.
Yeah, any list of the best in Capital Wrestling has to include wrestling's richest prize.
Not just Capital Wrestling, but just independent wrestling. Wrestling on the East Coast, all over the country. I mean, this man is a world traveler, both with wrestling and without. A businessman, an entrepreneur.
Stomping the ankle.
And a gifted athlete to boot. And again, now he works over the ankle. This way he can't run around.
Take away that speed and also take away that power.
Take away the base.
The kicks have been the most effective tool, no pun intended, for the 5-tool play.
And again, Darius Carter going right back, trying to take the oxygen away from him, trying to take that momentum away from him. But Anthony Bowens will not stay down, continuing to push.
Standing drop kick and a cover 1, 2 count only. Darius Carter covering Anthony Bowens, but to no avail. Cover again, look at the leg.
And a kick out.
Darius Carter staying on him like a shark smelling blood, and is the 5-tool player in trouble right now.
And
Darius
taking
Carter,
umbrage.
admonishing our referee here.
And listen, perhaps a little bit frustrated. Maybe he's right. We'd have to look into that. But look at those vicious forearms from underneath. Anthony Bowens trying to regroup here, trying to gain control. Oh, but it's
Knocking
into
in
a sleeper hold.
Again, trying to get that forearm, that base right by the elbow underneath
And
the
again,
chin to lock in, to cut off the carotid artery.
a smart strategy to say for sure from Darius Carter. I mean, he's not going to win a power competition. I think Bowens is probably more athletic. You can give him that. But this is why Darius Carter is so deadly, so
cannot-
difficult to wrestle.
Under any circumstance, you can never count out Darius Carter to have one more trick up his sleeve, one more maneuver. Like I said earlier, he is always 6 moves ahead, 6 chess pieces ahead of anybody. So this is going to be a difficult task, to say the least.
A pure wrestling general, always thinking ahead. He's beaten athletes far
But
larger,
Bowens to
far
her feet.
faster. But yes,
Locking that leg in.
look at that. Look at the positioning of that. Putting the leg underneath so he can't break the hold.
He's locked in.
And now forcing Anthony Bowens to try to touch that leg.
Exert more energy trying to get the leg to release. Can't again, as Darius Carter wisely using that leg to lock behind the calf of Bowens to prevent him from lifting, but breaks it again, gets him up finally. Backdrop, driving him down, and this could be the opportunity that the 5-tool player needs.
And now the crowd trying to get behind Bowens. We'll see, but Darius Carter might make it to his feet first. I mean, this match could just fall. It could be this close. Whoever gets to their feet first will have the advantage. And it's Darius Carter, but blocking the shot and the forearm. Ooh.
Locked again. Both men barely standing here.
Exhausted from this competition, but Bowens finding the extra energy from where? Ooh.
Firing off. Driving him down.
Can Bowens complete this upset? A tremendous upset it would be. Going for the forearm again, landing another one.
Springboard from the middle rope. DDT.
Tremendous
Got to
athleticism.
get the cover here. Having difficulty rolling over Darius Carter. Fatigue set again. Cover 1, 2. 2 count. And Darius Carter just getting the shoulder up.
And that might have been unfortunate for Anthony Bowens. The position which Darius Carter landed, it caused him to have to use his body weight to flip him over. That was about 2 or 3 seconds. That could have been the difference between a win or a loss here. And unfortunately, it's not done for Anthony Bowens. He's got to try to finish off Darius Carter.
Perhaps looking for that running knee. But a knee and a boot of his own here. 2 count only Darius Carter. Both of these men high impact. You know, you say that Anthony Bowens has the power advantage, but everything that Darius Carter does connects. Whether it be a chess move, as I said before, a strike, a hold, everything is impactful. No wasted motion.
Darius Carter taking umbrage. When you talk about the connecting the strikes, for some boxers, in boxing, sometimes it's not about the power, but it's how many punches you can connect, how many strikes you can connect with. They don't all have to be knockout blows, but if you add them all up, they take a lot out of you. Yeah,
the
exactly.
long limbs of Darius Carter.
And you can see there is some wear and tear there on Anthony Bowens, who's getting up very gingerly, and Carter. Ooh.
Getting him up. Driving him down. Cover. 1, 2. 2 count only. But locking in a crossface there. Right in front of the ropes is Darius Carter. Could this be the end of his undefeated streak here in Capital Wrestling as Bowens has it locked in?
And what a way to debut for Anthony Bowens if this is it.
Look at the torque.
I can't tell you the last time I've seen Darius Carter, if ever, tap out.
I can stop this one for you right now.
Is he reaching? Can he get there? Can he get there? But he seems too far
Just
from
out
it.
of reach, it seems.
Oh, and
Rolling him over, trying to get 2 count over. 2 count only, rather. Kick right to the temple.
Down
Darius
goes
Carter down.
And this might be the opportunity he's been waiting for.
Setting up for it. Could it be?
But so exhausted, he's taking so much time
Looking
here.
for it. Oh! Kicking the leg out from underneath.
A neck breaker.
Cover and modified two count only. Locking in those arms.
And Bowens, I don't know if it was bravado or he was just exhausted taking all that time, but either way, Darius Carter was able to regroup. And we find us in that position again. Who can get to their feet first to take advantage of this situation, but they're both just so exhausted.
Bowens struggling right now. Darius Carter, the look on his face. Again, stalking, perhaps setting up for that foreclosure.
And Bowens, I don't
Looking
know if
for
he
it.
knows
This has got to be it.
in the ring position, but Carter just waiting for him. Can he nail it?
Looking for the foreclosure. Countered.
Spins him around, catches the kick.
Dodges it. Looking for a
Bowens.
backslide. Can't quite lock it in. Both men going hold for hold. No one getting a distinct advantage here. And another European uppercut. Looking for it. Goes to front close. Rolls through. Tries to hold it. Covers him down. 1, 2, 3.
What? Are you kidding?
Wait a minute.
Was that it?
And it was 3 count.
Here's your winner, Anthony.
Are you?
The undefeated streak of Darius Carter has come to an end
What a tremendous upset.
at the hands of the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens. What an incredible debut here in Capital Wrestling.
No small feat, to say the least. I mean, defeating wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter, perhaps the man with the best 2018, the best debut in Capital Wrestling history, and suddenly Anthony Bowens finds himself the 5-tool player atop the mountain here at Capital Wrestling. Wait a minute.
Darius Carter calling for the music.
Taking umbrage here.
It's done, Carter. Yes. It's done. The streak is over with.
That ref was against me the entire time.
Taking umbrage with the ref.
Nope. 5-tool player, huh?
Yeah.
You're proud of yourself.
I just.
You haven't seen one. You didn't beat nobody. You didn't beat anyone.
You're right. You are.
Saying he hasn't beaten anybody.
That's why you came and you faced the best. All right? That wasn't anybody. That was a fluke.
A fluke?
That was nothing. That was erasable in the books of history. No. You people are erasable in the books of history.
No, they're not, buddy. Handshake history.
I'm so sick of this. You're the new capital. They put you up against Darius Carter, the best of the best. The referee's in your pocket. The referee counts a quick count. My shoulders were both up.
The best beat the best.
All right. Hey, 5 fools, right? 5. Like the number 5. I want you to think that.
Indeed, I
You
do.
need something, right?
I'm
You
the
need something.
5-tool player.
5-tool player here.
How about this? I know for a fact, and even these bleeding people know that I can beat you. And I can beat you again. And then I can beat you again.
Big claim from Darius Carter.
Darius Carter losing the match here tonight, but still.
I'll get to the point, please. It's not me, it's not about you. I'll get to the point. Let's follow the road to classics. I know I can beat you 3 times in a row. How about you put your money where your mouth is? Best of 5 series.
A best of 5.
In Capital. Wrestling's Richest Prize. This is Darius Carter.
Well, Darius Carter certainly upping the ante here.
Sounds like a fantastic idea here, but will Bowens accept?
You're on.
Yeah!
Well.
And it's official. Best of 5 series between Wrestling's Richest Prize and the 5-tool player.
Win of your life.
Wow.
Fear the never
Will the 5-tool player be victorious, or will change come for him as he's come for everyone else under the reign of Carter?
Fight fans, prepare for the new wave of professional wrestling. Capital Wrestling brings you all of the hard-hitting and high-flying action every week for free on Fight. From the Concrete Rose Sonny Kiss to the Dark Heart Ken Dixon to Capital Champion Matt McIntosh, you won't miss a moment from the Capital. Be sure to download the Fight app in the iOS and Google App Stores, as well as Amazon, Apple TV, and your favorite gaming console. Capital Wrestling. Catch the new wave.
Are you in need of a lawyer who will fight for you? Well, EDA Law will go off the top rope for you and your needs. Pro wrestling veteran Eric Anderson has brought his no-nonsense approach from the ring to the courtroom. The New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer and his team focuses on business law, criminal defense, and representing members of the pro wrestling industry. For more information, head on over to edalaw.com. That's edalaw.com. EDA Law, for those in the law who wrestled, know how to wrestle the law.
Capital Wrestling is brought to you by BetDSI. Whether it's Capital Wrestling action or the world of football, basketball, baseball, hockey, or even politics and television, BetDSI gives you a chance to take part in what's going on. Sign up using the code CAP120, and BetDSI will match up to 120% of your initial deposit. That's code CAP120 at sign-up. Head to betdsi.eu now and get in on the action. That's betdsi.eu.
It's time for the fabulous finish of the week, sponsored by To Be the Man. And gonna fly 450 splash. That's gotta be it. Cover 1, 2, 3. They did it again, despite your best plans. That was the fabulous finish, sponsored by To Be the Man. Available on Amazon.com.
Citizens of the Capitol, this is Zane Decker here at the Capitol Control Center, and we witnessed an amazing debut by the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens, and he defeated wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter. It seems as though one match wasn't enough for Mr. Darius Carter, as he has challenged the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens, to a best-of-5 series, which will continue at World War IV, December 29th in Hoboken, New Jersey. Stay tuned here at the Capitol Control Center for all of your World War IV updates.
This is a trigger warning for all cisgendered, uneducated males. I am Portia Vaughn, the #Femivist. That's feminist activist. And I have a herstory lesson for you. The casualties of past world wars have been astronomical. World War I, around 40 million. World War II, around 60 million. And for World War IV on December 29th, the casualties for the patriarchy will rival those numbers, as 2 of Capital Wrestling's strongest competitors will both be in action. The wokest bae of Capital Wrestling, the Dagger, Mick Drake, and Capital Wrestling's reigning women's champion and the answer to your prayers, Ariella Nix. History will always repeat itself, but herstory will always evolve. War is hell.